Earlier this month, I was artist in residence at Mr Straw's house, a National Trust property on the outskirts of Nottinghamshire. Mr Straw's house is a modest, semi-detached house which sits at number 7 Blythe Grove and has remained virtually unchanged since the Straws moved there in 1923. I was very interested in looking at Florence as a key component of the history of Mr Straw's house because evidently it is called Mr Straw's house and her history and her narrative is often underplayed as part of the characterisation of the property. This was something that I really wanted to delve into because when you go into the house there's a real sense of Florence through the choice of decoration, the materials, the fabrics. Everything was chosen by Florence. The archive holds an awful lot of documentation about the kind of materials in their very early state when the National Trust originally took over the property. In terms of being an artist in residence in a National Trust property, obviously you don't use it as a studio, and this was not something that I anticipated doing. I was very much using the residency as an intense period where I could really get to know about Florence and about the family and trying to really understand how these characters existed in the space which is now open to the public. I didn't go into the property with a specific idea of what I wanted to do. I knew that I was going to be using photography and digital media in order to document the spaces and think about the way that Florence might have used the spaces on a daily basis. I spent a lot of time in the house out of hours, so early morning recordings, which was a real pleasure. It really allowed me to get a sense of the way that light played out in the house and the way that the house might have felt without the public actually interacting in those spaces at the same time. So that was really a real pleasure to do that, but also allowed me to capture those moments where perhaps Florence may have been in the house on her own and how her experience of those spaces might have felt, and the quietness and the different types of sound levels, light levels. All of it becomes very different when you are there to contemplate it in your own time and space.